consequences of kindness versus the coupons of being an asshole.
Okay.
And we can you can transfer them. You can also use them interchangeably. You can say the
there are coupons that
come with kindness, and there are consequences that come with being an asshole.
That's true.
So, where do you guys want to start? Because
I mean, let's jump right into the asshole part first.
I was gonna start
right into the asshole part. That's where y'all want to go. Okay. No homo, but I mean that's
no
what Jalil said. I mean, I didn't say it. Jalil just said usually, he prefers to jump into the asshole.
No, usually we talk.
We got to use a lot of tact around this man over here. Man.
Usually we jump like right into. Usually we get right into the hard, like the easy stuff, and I feel like talking about the benefits of the hard stuff that comes with being good, but it's more difficult to talk about the benefits of being mean or being an asshole. Yeah, and to me, I feel like I used to be really, really nice to people all the time. Like, just do whatever you ask me, I'ma get it done. Like, and I've realized, like, as I gotten older, that my time has become more valuable, and that there are coupons in being an asshole sometimes. Sometimes you gotta let them know, like, no, my time is valuable. You're either gonna compensate me for it, or you can't have any of it.
Yeah, I think it works in reverse for me, cause coming up, I was told, like, Tori, you're kind of like a standoffish person. You're negative, and sometimes you may come off as a jerk. This and that. You're very reserved, and it rubs people the wrong way. And I'm just like, it's not that I intend to be like that, but it's for my own good. And I think over time, people that have watched me and people that know me, they realize, like, I think they go through some of the same shit that I was going through. And they realize, damn, this is why Tori was like that. You know what I'm saying? And it may happen with some of my homies. Like, this is why Cliff be like that. Or this is why Jalil be like that. It's like, when you experience enough shit, you're a certain way for your own protection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not that you intend on being like that, but sometimes it's for your good and it's for others' good.
That perspective is a motherfucker sometimes, bro.
Yeah. And some people may not see it the way you see it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I come off as an asshole. I don't feel like I come off as a mean person, but I'm very stern, and I'm not always transparent.
Do you feel like that comes with a level of prejudice and saying that you know that you don't act the same way with every individual person that you meet?
Yeah,
initially,
I agree.
Like
that comes with lessons learned. Like, sometimes I realize you can't treat everybody the exact same way.
But I'm saying the way you treat people initially before you even know them. Like, sometimes you might say hey to somebody and you had every intention on being a certain way, but the way that they respond makes you go to the other one that you was gonna do, and you're supposed to be around this person. Just some people, I feel like sometimes we prejudge some movements. Like, that person could be moving a certain way because they saw something in you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you start moving a certain way because that's how they reacted to you, and you just supposed to that.
That's the difference between an active thinker and a non-active thinker. An active thinker is somebody that I can give each person I meet the first time I meet them the same positive energy. And then depending on what I receive back will dictate how I deal with you through the rest of our dealings.
But do you know how they like? Some people have bad days.
Of course, everybody has a bad day.
So I know my initial interaction of the first time I met Tori or whatever, is like, then he could have been having a bad day that first time I met him. He's not the same person that I met the first time I met him, because the second interaction I might have had with him, he might have actually really walked over to me and dapped me up and really was like, hey man, I see this and and that's why I say. But on that day too, I might have came in on my high and just, hey, what's up, everybody? Of course. And he ain't feeling that right now. You going through something.
Y'all on two different energy levels.
Right. And you would be crazy to indict somebody off of the first time you meet them, whether it's a positive or a negative experience.
But why do we always say a first impression is the first impression is the most important? Why do we always say
because that's the most memorable one.
Exactly, because it's the first one. But then it's the steps you take afterwards that'll change that either positively or negatively.
I think. Okay, so we was all in high school.
Yeah.
We always saw somebody in passing that we probably wasn't on a friend basis or a first name. Like, we didn't always say what's up to. Like, we always just seen them in passing. Never really had a full conversation, and always just had, a perspective about this person that probably wasn't always foolproof until we actually like had a conversation with them and got to know them. And now it's like, okay, now my outlook on this person is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that shit still happens to this day. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a job or you have a routine where you're constantly coming into contact with the same people.
Well, see, I also want to say this too, and let this be known that we also have to realize this, and this is one of the consequences of being a kind person and having a kind heart, is because we feel like people can change, and we don't live on the fact that you show me who you are. People show you who they are, and they will show you who they are when you first meet them. A lot of people will show you who they are, and it's like we constantly be thinking that like, see how you just say, like, when I saw a person, like, oh yeah, I was thinking the wrong thing. We be constantly thinking people gonna change, and we be constantly thinking that it's something different. And I feel like that's one of the consequences of having
Well, honestly, I can admit it don't always go that way. The first time a lot of people I've met, because I've met a lot of people, being the places that we go and doing the things we do, we meet people every day.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say a lot of the people I've met as I've gotten older aren't what I think they are when I first meet them. It takes more instances and times being around them for me to realize the person that they are, or for me to formulate what kind of person they are. Because things are different now. Like, we don't take the time that we used to take to get to know people, because it doesn't take as much now.
You feel like you can go to their Instagram and find out who the fuck you're dealing with.
And even then,
really
you
that is nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, and I mean that just comes with being a young person, and sometimes breaking that ice with certain people is more difficult than you actually make it up in your mind.
Well, check it out like this.
Cause you can learn more about a motherfucker through 2 hours of creeping on social media than you could with them fucking.
Depends on the person.
You think you can. That's what I say. Depends on the person, though. Yeah. I'm not gonna find out that much about Tory on Instagram.
But if Tory ain't a loquacious person with Cliff, then you probably won't. Cause if I'm not an inviting person,
I'm not going
to specific people, then it's like,
I know who you are, but I'm saying I'm not gonna see all that on Instagram.
Right.
You right, yeah, because you could be whoever you want to be on.
Exactly.
Instagram.
And that's what I'm saying.
And you have the ability to limit and show only what you want to show and nothing else.
And so, but this brings me to another point though. When we hang and we around people, cause we tend to dismiss everything that we saying. Like I say, I know you, so when I look at your Instagram, I'm not thinking that I know.
Right.
I know so much about Tory. Yeah. I know how a motherfucker could be misled, and I'm not saying they'll be misled in a bad way. I'm not, and I can say the same thing about Jaleel. I can say the same thing about anybody else. You know what I'm saying? That I typically know, and it's like, but I want to go back into the consequences of your kindness, because in thinking that somebody's gonna change, we tend to start hanging around people, and just how you said, Jaleel, you think that you start knowing them a little bit better, and it's kind of like, dang, I see that I'm helping them, or you see that they helping you in a way.
Right.
And some of your good traits you start seeing in them. Have you ever realized when you hang around people, you start using that same slang?
Yeah.
You start doing a certain thing, and in you, your kindness, even if they had things that you didn't like about them, like you might not have liked the way they fucking talk. You know what I'm saying? You might have made fun of their accent when you first seen them. But now that they using your slang, it's like, you got a better bit of a connection, and it's like you feel like you can see the change in them. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we start thinking that we start seeing that good that we rubbing off on people. You know what I mean? But you don't see the other things that you rubbing off on them. Or they picking up on certain aspects, and you thinking they can change, and you see that you influencing them.
Right.
But they not taking the influence of the things that you wish they would, like your kindness, your good heart. You know,
it's interesting you say that, because when we see, it's almost every day that I see a young brother or sister with a memorial being posted about them. You know what I'm saying? Pictures posted up like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. It's so surreal. Yeah. We often being on social media, the web, it kind of changes perspective, because you see somebody who you didn't really know, but somebody that you know that was close to this person has this idea about this person, but that's because they know who this person was.
Yeah.
They actually got to witness the integrity of this person, the personality is like. You don't get to witness everything. Like if I were to pass today and you and Jalil didn't know each other, but y'all both knew me, it's like you probably know how good of a person that I was more than Jalil.
Yeah.
So Jalil is probably looking like, damn, the bro was really heartbroken over this nigga passing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like Cliff knew who I was. Yeah, I wasn't a perfect individual. You probably could see that I wasn't a perfect individual.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You probably seen me on the internet doing fuck shit, or you probably seen me out in the streets doing some fuck shit.
But he
you know what I'm saying?
it.
Not knowing like,
But
nah, this nigga probably just went and did a whole bunch of good shit earlier in that day.
Right.
You know what I'm
he
saying?
know about all that good stuff, but I might not know about it.
Exactly. So
I get
that's
what
why
you're
the
saying.
perspective of it is different, because we all imperfect. We all do some shit that shouldn't be that should be looked down upon. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we can't really look at our peers and the people who you know what I'm saying, look at us, they look up to us. You can't really look at them and judge them and say, well, why is you praising this nigga? Why is you so heartbroken over this nigga? It's like you don't have that same connection with him. You don't feel what they feel for that person.
In our topic is the consequences of kindness. And I want to say, ask both of you guys. I know it has. This is a rhetorical question, but has your kindness ever cost you?
Yeah.
And when your kindness cost you, I don't want to say that you were looking for something back, but people often can return the kindness.
Yeah.
But do they banish the sacrifice? So this is how I'm gonna say it. You could be kind to somebody, but they could be but in your being kind, what makes it a kind gesture, what people see is the sacrifice or the place where you didn't have to do, the thing that you was able to overcome and still do for me. Mm-hmm. The lack,
because that's the part that speaks volumes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I could give Tori this shirt off my back right now. It's warm in this house. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's nothing for me to give you my shirt right now.
Right.
But if we outside in the cold and I go to Tori and I say, give me your, like, come on, bro, you don't remember that time I gave you my jacket? Mm-hmm. It's freezing cold out here now.
It's a whole other situation.
And I'm the one. Exactly. Yeah. Do you feel like people sometimes expect that bandage or difference, and where is the flaw in that? Like, what's wrong and right about that?
I think the good favor that you spread amongst your peers and the energy you radiate into the atmosphere. Yeah, you may have good intentions when doing it, but it's like it can be easily negated when you have to constantly remind people about, oh, I did this. I'm doing good shit. Right. And y'all need to acknowledge this shit right then and there.
Well, I feel like that's an issue too. Is that even though people that know me know I always am doing nice stuff for people because it's just my nature. I've stopped as much as I used to because I didn't like the feeling of being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. But I still go out of my way at times to help other people, and I don't do it for the satisfaction of the acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Everybody might not know what I'm doing for you, and that's fine with me. Mm-hmm. But I need you to acknowledge that I did something for you.
Yeah.
Well, see, I feel you, Jalil, but I look at it like this. A lot of times motherfuckers forget. I would personally love to be that dude. And I love when I go to people's, which is fucked up that we go. I'm gonna use this analogy, but I love when I go to people's funerals and people be like, "Yeah, man, he do something for you, and you never hear nothing about it again." Most of the time, the people who saying those things like that are the type of people who, when you do things for them, they are humble about them and they remember that person did something. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm saying is, sometimes when you do, well, I don't want to stop you, but hold on, wait, I got.
No, I want to see if we gonna lead up to the same.
Yeah.
Perspective.
I don't know. Well, when I get there, I'm just like, see, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I'm not saying you don't lead with what you did. That's what I'm saying. That's the motherfucker who you say is not the type of person who can say like they never will mention what they did. Cause the motherfucker that lead with that shit is somebody who did it with an objective.
Right.
But the person when you say no and somebody bring up something that you might not be thinking of translating into how they see it, cause like I just said, that person might not see the sacrifice. People will return the kindness, but they won't pass the bandage of the sacrifice.
And those objective seeking people, those oftentimes can be called manipulators as well.
Exactly.
Because if they know Tory is a person of good deed, Tory's always helping, Tory is not ashamed to put others first. Now it's like, okay, now I've taken a mental note of that. So now when I'm in a situation, if I'm in a bind, I can come to Tory and be like, hey Tory, can I woo? Because I know he's likely to give me what I need because that's the kind of person he is.
Right.
Now,
And
I can come at Tory. I can come at Tory on a basis where, damn, I don't even have to share common courtesy. I can call Tory at 9:30 in the morning and be like, hello, hey Tory, can I do? And Tory will sit there and be like, oh, I'm doing good. How you doing this morning? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't even hit him with the common courtesy. I didn't hit him with any kind of manners or anything. I immediately hit him and asked for something because I'm knowing his intentions are always good and he may just give me what I want aside from us being human beings and us having the common decency to acknowledge each other when we get on the phone.
But
Well, that could go the
you know what
other
I'm
way around. It could also go the person
about
that's
to say.
given to you is given to
And
somebody else facetiously because they know that they could use it to their advantage in the future.
Yep. Let me give it to you while I'm in my state of excess, so I know I can use.
Also,
you.
like paying it forward.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean-
no, paying it in advance.
Yeah, well,
Let me pay you right now when it don't mean shit to me, but
Oh, remember
and
that time I gave you that extra shit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
well,
And
no,
Okay.
They
there's-
giving you a Pinto knowing that you drive Lexuses, and
No,
they know they're gonna
but
be
in
able
a-
to drive yours.
No,
But-
in a way, there's a good and a bad to that. There's nothing wrong with giving when you have an excess, knowing that when you don't have, that it'll be fulfilled because that's
reason.
That's the But is your reason? Are your reasonings
Exactly.
malicious or are your reasonings just knowing that that's how the universe works? Like me, I'm the kind of person I know when I'm up, I'm always gonna give because I have a giving heart, and when I'm down.
Sometimes you got to give too when you down.
And that's what I was about to say.
Even when I'm at my last, like the other day, and like I don't usually talk about the random things I do, but I use it for this example. The other day, this man was standing outside of 7-Eleven, and he looked at me and he was really hungry.
Yeah.
And all I had in my pocket was $5. That was it. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself to Arizona, and I'm gonna get this man a hot dog, even though this is all I got in my pocket, because I felt like he really looked like he was hungry, and I really felt like ain't nobody else paying attention to this man. I got the power to feed him.
Yeah.
Let me do that. So like I made that move, and his appreciation like meant something to me, even though I knew like shit, I'm down to $2 and change now. It was worth it because I know that God is gonna bless me in a different way sometime later.
And see, and then like
But
this,
I didn't do it for the blessing, but I did it.
Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I do it because I know we're all put here, and we're all put in specific places to help each other, because that's a part of our purpose on Earth.
let me bring this story up because what you said earlier, Jaleel, we gotta speak to is the fact that you can give when you don't have, and that's what I'm trying to say. The manipulators give when they got it, but they'll never give you when they super low. Like they not looking to help somebody when they super low. So this is so crazy that this came up because I don't want to bring this to the show, but I'm gonna bring it to the show. It's like me and the homie was talking about it, bro. You can go out with somebody. This happened. Well, actually, this happened. This is years ago, actually. But nigga went out with a chick. Had lost money. Lost $20 before he goes to get his car washed or whatever. Goes to get the car washed. Loses his $20 that he took out of the bank to get the car washed. Leaving the car wash, the girl saw the nigga's frustration. The nigga had to go get more money out the ATM and pay for it. Didn't really have it to do it, but did it. Was supposed to be buying the girls lunch. That's the only reason why the girl rolled with him, basically, because they was going to get lunch and it was supposed to be a date type of situation. Nigga goes to the restaurant, sees a homeless person that he used to know, that was in good times when he seen him. Now he just lost money. The girl on the way to the place to go get some to eat said, I saw that. I know you lost a lot of money. I know you lost some money. I'm going to pay for your food. Now, the dude still has some change left from what he got out of the ATM and paying for the car wash the second time. You know what I'm saying? The first 20 gone, nigga still got a little change from paying the 15. It's about $5, $6, whatever. The girl pays for his food, buys the guy's food, and they waiting on the food to come. Guy says, hey, the dude outside, the homeless man, I know him. He used to go to my church, whatever. I'm going to give him some money. Girl smacks her lips and rolls her eyes. Like, why would you give him money? Like, I just bought your food because I felt like you ain't have it. Or you ain't got it. Where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like those type of people, do y'all see something wrong with that?
No.
You don't
do I see something wrong with him giving the money? Or do I see something wrong with her tripping over it?
Do you see something wrong with her tripping over it?
Oh, definitely. There's a major problem with that.
Do you see something wrong with her tripping over the money?
I feel where Jaleel is coming from. I don't know what kind of energy this chick is on. Cause okay, so you already gave me the story about the guy not having it. The girl probably don't have it. So
yeah.
she's trying to, when she's lacking, she's still trying to put forth energy and effort and commitment to making this dude happy, even though the dude she's trying to make is trying to make the other dude happy. You know what I'm saying?
But so, that's how the world works.
I know, but that's like I don't see why we should condemn the girl for being upset about that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to help one another.
Exactly.
Now maybe
so
it's gonna take them. Maybe it's gonna take them some time to look at it. But I'm not mad at the girl for being upset, cause it's like she's not knowing about this situation. She didn't know what this guy meant to this other dude.
I'm saying it don't even.
Yeah, but it may not ring clear to her right then and there.
I feel
maybe it may take her some time to process and be like.
I honestly hope that she did eventually realize that.
I don't know. I don't know. But the reason why I would disagree is because to me, I'm gonna just say in my mind and how I look at things. If I give you money and you go give that money that I gave you to somebody else, then that's fucked up.
Well,
but wait. If I bless you and just buying your food or buying anything for you, I gave you a surplus of something, so you wouldn't feel like you had a lack somewhere else.
Right.
So wherever you have your excess to bless somebody else, I shouldn't have no malice towards that. It's not like you literally took something out. Now, if you took my food and if you took the food I bought you and just put it in another nigga hand, that's something totally different.
Okay, yeah, that's different.
Right.
But that it just seems like that story is just a breakdown in communication because she didn't know who that man was. He briefly,
it didn't matter though.
He briefly said,
you comparing yourself as that girl. Or if you was a guy with a girl, you buy this chick food and you've been buying this chick food every day, and she turn around and she buy her little brother Pampers, and you like, bitch, you could have been buying us lunch with all these Pampers you buying for your sister.
Nah.
But I feel that it's whack, but it's kind of like
that food I could cover that, but them Pampers is a necessity.
But it's like but at the same time, you was gonna feed her regardless because you wanted to feed her.
Exactly.
And it should be in your heart of saying, I was feeding her because I wanted to feed her
anyway. Yeah. Regardless
you
of
see
what
I'm saying? Because they were hurting. You know what I mean? And I see, it's just like, I feel like that, like we got to look at it like that. And I'm not saying you wrong for thinking how you think it, Tori, because I see you agreeing with how that go. But I'm looking at, I'm just trying to say the way I'm looking at it and how I feel like as a society we could kind of change on these things, because a lot of what I would say the major class don't want to give the lower class, and they give it to the middle class, but they turn around and trying to hurt people for helping the poor.
Yeah,
like it's kind of like the exact same thing.
Well, no, I think
we giving you a break here.
People have just been consumed with social stigmas, And it's almost like I've tried to feed a homeless person and he rejected the food because he wanted money. You know what I'm saying? Then I've had somebody actually see me drinking a fucking beer on the street like a piece of shit, and I gave him a couple of dollars because I'm thinking he wanted to go get something to eat, and he actually told me like, nigga, I'm finna go get a beer. Fuck what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could be forthcoming with, like you said, your surplus. Like if you put on a surplus, somebody else could be forthcoming. You may take offense to that, but at the same time, it's like that person is just trying to reciprocate the positive energy that's being done. You know what I'm saying? Even though you not looking at it like that.
Because you like, damn, I was hurting and I just helped you.
Exactly.
And you about to go.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
It's almost like a lightweight robbing Peter to pay Paul type.
But think about this. Think about this. He would have paid for if he would have still paid for the food anyway, then what position would it have been in?
And that's what I'm saying is low key. Is low key the same way. That's why I say, as in dealing with people and looking at you know what I'm saying, like that was an eye opener back then. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was an eye opener to see how people act. Yep. You know what I mean? To see somebody with the ability to bless others will compare themselves to somebody with nothing.
Because to think about what that moment could have done, what that moment should have been without her tripping, it's him not having it.
And still giving somebody
him already being down a dub, having to pull that second dub, still get what he needed done. Her saying, I'm going to incur that loss you just took by feeding you, which is showing that I care. That's a step for their relationship. Mm-hmm. And then for him to say, I just got blessed even though I took an L, let me pass something else on. Somebody. She should have, I understand maybe she wasn't thinking on that level, but as a human being, that's the level we should be operating on.
We should be on.
Yep. I mean, because, you know, humankind, we supposed to take care of each other.
Exactly.
Even though we don't show it on a daily basis, but it's little instances like that do show, like, niggas do have heart, even though niggas be going through shit.
Man, honestly, sometimes it's just worth it to go out the way for another person. Yep. Like, regardless of what good can come from it, like, for you personally, but just sowing that into somebody else's life.
And regardless,
that's a ripple effect, bro.
Regardless of the consequences of people saying, like I said, like when we saying, like, giving to somebody and expecting it back or not expecting it back or whatever, it's the same thing as in saying, like, man, you don't know you don't know what this seed you plant on this other person, how it's supposed to bloom or how it's supposed to grow.
Because it's almost like you telling the universe, you owe me. That's pretty much what it is.
And it's like you can't.
And it's not even that. It's not even supposed to be a you owe me. It's supposed to just be, I'm doing this knowing that the vibration of what I send out is going to send something back to me.
Yeah. But and that's what. But
and that can come and it can be inevitable.
Yeah, it is inevitable.
There is no timetable for when it's gonna happen.
And that's
everything that we do is emotion, and that motion that we put out is a wave. Mm-hmm. And waves, as they ripple out, they come back.
But you got to understand, there's people in this world that they only acknowledge a reasonable rate of return.
Of course. And those are people
that some people feel like, and those are the negative vibrations.
They vibrate at a lower frequency.
That's what I was saying. I want to bring it around to this, to where it's like how we were saying, you know, like how you say some people do things for the fame or for the clout or, you know what I'm saying, whatever that comes with being a good person.
That clout word is getting on my nerves.
I know. But
I feel you.
We got to use it.
It works contextually, so we understand.
Yeah, but it's like what people, when like I say, I would love to be that person at my funeral where people say, hey, he did stuff for me and he never brought it up. But like I say, I would also want the people who saying that to be the kind of people to where you never had to say anything. You never had to ever bring anything up to them.
Right.
And how you said, and how we talking about, you know, people vibrating at a lower frequency and doing things in intention, like expecting something from the universe. I 100% agree with that. And that's why I say I disagree with the fact to where when someone says, they give someone the allowance to, I mean, they allow someone to reciprocate to them, and they don't take offense to the yes or the no. Mm-hmm. You never take offense. Like I said, I'll never be a type of person who takes offense to somebody telling me yes or no. Whether I did something for them in the beginning or not. Did something for them in the end or didn't do something or don't do something. It's however they want to respond is on them.
Right.
But the thing is, where people act like at the end of the day, your life is not a decision. It's not a compilation of choices.
And that's all it is.
And that's why I say it's the choice. I could have been an asshole with you.
Yeah.
The choice, but I made the choice of being kind. And it doesn't make me a good person for choosing to do the right thing. But at this time, it's making you a shitty person to choose to be an asshole with me.
Exactly.
And if I notice that you're being an asshole, for me to choose to show where I feel I did something instead of being an asshole, I don't think I should be looked at as an asshole right now for saying that I recall a time. You know what I'm saying? I recall a time. How can you be a bad person and say, I recall a time?
Right. Yeah. Because you only doing this because it's a situation that's all too familiar.
It's a situation that brought it up right now for me to bring this up.
Exactly.
I've never said nothing. When we just chilling, I ain't talk about the shit.
Yeah.
But
Because it's
now-
like, if I feel like a nigga's being taken advantage of, or a nigga's being abused, or a nigga, it's just different things. It's like,
Right. If you
I'm
wanna
gonna acknowledge it right then and there because it's like it's supposed to cease at some point in time.
We'll
Right.
tell a nerd to stand up to a bully, but we'll tell somebody else to stand down for somebody. We'll tell somebody, man, that's petty.
Right.
For you to bring.
But for every action, there's a reaction.
Right. And why
So
are you bringing it up? See,
You can't put out certain energies and then tell people how they need to respond to it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna respond how they respond, and that's what I try to tell people all the time. You can't get mad at somebody for the way they react to things because they're reacting.
Exactly.
If they had time to think and then they do something you don't like, then that's different. You can judge that accordingly.
And you judge it accordingly, and you gotta acknowledge what people's maturity levels are. Everybody has associates and friends who you can pretty much gauge their maturity level and say, are they gonna react or are they gonna respond?
Yeah.
A lot of times, if their maturity level ain't up to par, they finna react. You know what I'm saying? If you a cool, collected person, you think, you meditate, or whatever it is that you do, you done lived above destructive behavior, you just gonna respond. And however they take it is however they take it. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to tell them how they supposed to take it. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna respond. And it's up to them to take it how they take it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and if that person's aware enough, then they can speak in a way that'll speak straight to that person without it being, too much misconception or, misunderstanding because of their emotion or however they feel in the situation.
But see, and we're gonna close out with this though, because I want to just leave with this last part of what we was gonna go with this topic. I mean, there's so many situations we could have avoided, you know what I'm saying, by being assholes. And a lot of times, your kindness, you can look back. Most of the people that hurt you are people that you've often helped. The people that steal from you are somebody that you probably would have just given it to if they had their ass. Because they were close enough to be able to steal from you, and they were able to learn your schedule. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We tend to not look at that fact that when the person reacts out of that anger, that the one who is hurt is really hurt the most because of how much they cared about the person that hurt them. It has nothing to do with the action that was done.
It's the person it came from.
It's the person it came from. That's why most people who get murdered are killed by somebody that they knew or somebody they helped. And that's why I say,
and it's like I know
it's
I
an
was
uncomfortable reality.
Right. It's like I know I was finna catch a bullet, but damn, from one of my own.
Yeah.
And that's why I say the consequences. That's one of the bad consequences of being kind, because you take a liking to people. It's like somebody who accepts a job from you, but know they're gonna take you to the board of labor because your company ain't ran right, but they didn't have no money. And the only reason why you hired them because you saw that their kid was starving.
Right.
Now they want to take you to court and sue you to try to get your whole business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But dog, I ain't had to give you a
Because
fucking job.
all they saw was
A chance to come up.
And a
I didn't
chance.
even have to give you a job. There's people like that.
Yeah.
and it's just like, man, we gotta address this out here, and that's what Cliff Notes Radio is for.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all, we wanna thank y'all for tuning in tonight.
Appreciate it.
And tune in next week. Make sure you click that like button down below.
Click the like button.
Subscribe and all that.
Follow Cliff Notes Radio.
All of us. Cliff Notes Radio. Real Cliff 225.
It's T Rich. It's _T with 2 E's _Rich.
Tough Crowd Lil. TUFFCROWD _LEEL.
And we're going to get this on a lot of different platforms. So we're going to be letting y'all know in the other podcasts. And yeah, y'all be podcasting, man. We doing this shit, man. See y'all next week, motherfucker.
Yeah, much love.
Sluncher.